Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, Tasi is here. I just put up my other video going through the new Clash Fronts phase, and I didn't even realize they put Tasi out. I was waiting for to tick down to 7 days left on Sinbad for it to happen, but I uploaded that video and then I checked and Tasi came out with 8 days left on Sinbad, which is not what I was expecting, but here we go. We get to take a look at the skills of Tasi. All right, the first thing to note, she is an S level and she is a mage. I mentioned in my other video that I thought she could be a mage or a support. Either way, I thought she was going to maintain her control that she is known for in AFK Arena. She does have a 4-tile range, so not the whole field type range, but that's okay. I think it's going to be fine when we look at it. I have not read the skills yet, so we're going to go through it. Tasi summons a dream that lasts for 3.5 scaling up seconds, hypnotizing all enemies. Hypnotized enemies cannot move or act and take damage per okay, they take extra damage per second. Now, they can't move or act. It doesn't say they're immune to other damage as well. So she just hard CCs all enemies. Yeah, so it's entire board. I was looking if there was a range for it or anything like that. There is nothing. So that is pretty solid. We do have 0 starting energy, so it will take time to ramp up, but it's just everyone goes to sleep and takes extra damage on top of the damage that they'll take while they are asleep. Very, very strong ability. Tasi consumes 10% of her current HP to deal damage equal to 100. To deal damage of her consumed HP to adjacent enemies. So it's based on her consumed HP. So the more HP she has, the more damage she's going to deal. Stunning them for 0.5 seconds. Now, it says tiles 10. Deal. Of her HP to okay, it does say adjacent, so it's only within 1 tile of her that she's going to do it. Stunning them for 0.5 seconds, the damage dealt will be no less than 60% of her attack. She then flies to the farthest enemy and applies the same effect to adjacent enemies. However, the second hit on the same enemy will only deal 50% of the original damage. Okay, so this to me is more of like a hit stun interrupt with a bit of the extra damage. The damage in this will be decent in PvP. In PvE modes, this damage will probably not be that great because it's HP scaling and you get the higher deaths and stuff like that. But that's essentially what it is. I believe that's trying to copy her teleport ability from AFK Arena and put a different spin on it. Next up, we have this one. Tasi enters her dream realm and transforms into a butterfly. That's pretty cool. Upon losing 50%. Okay, so this is her teleport one. Tasi enters the dream realm and transforms into a butterfly upon losing 50% HP. So you got to cheat death. And I'm pretty sure you won't be able to get overkilled. So you won't go from 60% down to 0. I'm pretty sure it stops at 50. I will test it, but that's how other abilities have worked. You think Olmus and stuff like that. In this form, she becomes invincible, recovering HP every second while dealing damage to adjacent enemies. This effect lasts for 3 seconds, and Tasi can cast this skill up to 2 times in one battle. So that's it. This is actually looking really, really good. This is just the base kit we're looking at. You've got a full field sleep and a double cheat death. I mean, that's pretty reasonable in my opinion for a single copy character. I'll probably pick one up and we will do some testing. Next up, Tasi increases her attack by 9% during battle. After casting Eternal Dreamscape, she gains an extra 6%. Okay, she just gets the extra attack. Okay, exclusive equipment. After casting Eternal Dreamscape, Tasi gains 70 haste and Eternal Dreamscape is the ultimate, okay? Tasi gains 70 haste and reduces damage taken by 90% for 5 seconds. But they're asleep. The whole enemy team's asleep for 4 to 5 seconds of it. After casting it, it's not after it ends. Okay, but she gains 90% reduction. I gotta see how that works because if it's 90% damage reduction while all the enemies are asleep, it doesn't really matter. During this time, Dream Dance has no cooldown, which is this one. Okay, so she just spams that shit. Dude. No longer consumes her HP. Damage dealt counts as if she consumed 10% of her current HP. And she will prioritize targets Okay. She will prioritize targeting the farthest hypnotized enemy. This is not too bad. Gains 100 haste after casting Eternal Dreamscape. Adds 40 extra penetration when dealing damage to hypnotized enemies with Dream Dance. Okay, we can see how she's going to function. We'll talk about the function in a sec. And then this one, Tassi gains an extra attempt to cast Fluttering Dream each time she assists or kills a non-summoned enemy. I'd hate to say it, but I think she's going to be really good in PvP. I feel like she's going to be... I feel like she's going to be really strong in PvP. I feel like she's going to be good in AFK stages as well, even at 1 copy. But in PvP, when you put this whole kit together, so the whole idea chains on, well, this is basically just her cheat death. So she's got double cheat death, which she can get more copies of at Supreme, more than 2 once she hits Supreme Plus, which is good. Then we have a sleep. Put everyone to sleep. Happy days. Then her damage comes from a combination of her exclusive equipment and this one, where as soon as she puts them to sleep, she's just going to spam this ability and teleport around the field, dealing extra damage to enemies. That's really cool. There's just a couple things in her kit that don't have the synergy in the way it works. So the two things that get me, and I'll have to test to see if it's different. The two things that get me in this kit are, one, that this has the stun. If these two things here applied after it ended, it would be more interesting. But we do have the extra damage that she deals to sleeping enemies. But I feel like we're missing out on 2 bonus things. The damage reduction here, she's not going to make use of because they're not going to be dealing damage because they're going to be asleep unless someone was immune to it. So that damage taken, unless I'm wrong on the way it works, kind of seems redundant. The other thing is this extra stun. Obviously, getting it once every 6 seconds is going to be cool, but like when she's spamming it, imagine if she was spamming this ability when the sleep ended. So then they've been slept for like 4 or 5 seconds, and then she's teleporting all over the joint and then stunning them. So I reckon it would be really cool if this 90% reduction and her ability to spam this skill were tied into once the sleep ends, but then you would lose the extra damage dealt to sleeping enemies. So I don't know. I think it's a really, really solid kit all round. But like I said, there's just those couple things that could, like, to me, like they could be absolutely crazy, but you're like doubling up on effects. You're not taking damage and you're getting damage mitigation. You're already stunned the enemies and then you're stunning them on top of it. But besides that, I think the kit is really, really solid. Double cheat death, full field sleep, and I'm tipping this is going to have some pretty good damage in PvP. And once again, you tie her into a wilder team, you're looking pretty solid on the kind of damage you can deal and the cheat deaths she can have, especially if you start clapping some enemies. If you play some sniping teams, she's going to get a few cheat deaths. And I feel like you could see situations where she sort of solos teams because maybe she gets some assist, because when we read this one, Tasi gains an extra attempt at Fluttering Dream, which is this one. Each time she gets an assist or kill on an enemy. Like, you could get it so that, like, you run some sniping teams, your allies die, it doesn't matter. Like, she's up to, like, 3 extra lives. So she's got 5 lives to just, like, snipe. I think she is going to be insane. That is my first impressions of Tasi. Once again, we will do some testing yet back, but just based on it, I think she's going to be great at 1 copy in AFK stages and stuff like that. And I think she's going to be an absolute monster maxed out in PvP. That is my assumption. Once again, could be wrong. I'll update you guys. But that is Tasi. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.